Good afternoon and welcome to the Artist Space with me, Ray Burke. Over the coming weeks, we'll be taking a look at the art that populates the rich and diverse space in the city. We'll be concentrating on artists working and living and exhibiting in Dublin. We will feature previews and reviews of events, exhibitions and installations, as well as profiles of artists. On the show today, we'll be speaking to Brian McCarthy about his new solo exhibition that opens this evening. McCarthy is an artist who works exclusively in oils and has an extremely impressive mastery of the medium. His first solo exhibition in 14 years opens this evening at the Keeling Gallery on 41 Clarendon Street in Dublin 2. I went to visit the space and spoke to artist and owner Vincent Keeling. Vincent initially set up the gallery last November as a temporary solution to sell his own work for the Christmas market. Yet almost a year later the doors remain open and he's exhibiting the work of 13 other artists. I asked Vincent what did he owe the success of the gallery to?
I don't know, success might be overstating at this stage. It's still here, which is a success, I guess, in itself. But it has, like Christmas made money, but since then it's lost a lot of money. So, yeah, it was never the original intention to run a gallery. It just kind of snowballed. I suppose I was just setting up to sell my own stuff at Christmas. The recession kicked in. Wasn't really getting the calls from the galleries, the sales weren't coming through, so I just decided to be proactive, do it for myself, and it worked. Christmas definitely worked, but it has been a rough year. But it's also, you know, it is great to meet all the artists. Obviously Brian I know for years, I went to classes with him some 20 years ago, so it is a pleasure to be in a position to have a space to put on a show like that. I was amazed by his work back then, and you know, it continues to amaze me. I think it's really special.
So do you curate the space, or is it a case of artists coming to you wanting to exhibit here?
I curate it. It was like it was very open at the start. Like a friend said to me, so is your policy to have no policy, just to take everything as it comes in? So I like the idea of having a real mix, and as well like to have a mix in terms of prices as well, like prints, to make it affordable, so you can walk in and buy something for €8, or if you have $8,000, great. But so yeah, I curate it, and you do have at the start I was very open, but now you have people walking in like practically every day looking to hang, so it is hard being on the other side of it. I definitely appreciate like the work involved as well from the gallery point of view, commissions and everything. Like it's definitely not easy. Whatever, maybe in the boom years they were coasting through, but now it's a hard work.
Are your primary concerns whether the work is going to sell, or do you have to? Does the artist fight with the person that owns the gallery about what gets shown?
I guess you have to be realistic. Like if things like there's one or two artists whose work I loved, and like I put it up, and unfortunately it didn't move. And at the end of the day, I suppose I have to. The bills, like, there's only so much money you can lose, and if you know something's going to sell, you have to really go with it. You know, I'm still taking in. I'm definitely willing to try more experimental work, and there are a few other artists not showing yet whose work I want to take in. It'd be quite, you know, it'd be quite controversial and risky to show them. But I'd definitely be open to that. Like, I am an artist first of all, and you know, gallery owner second still. So.
And you've decided to utilise the space as your own studio as well. Is that a practical solution to having to rent a place?
Well, it's just I pretty much I don't live in here, but well, it's not far, 2 doors down now. So like I'm here like, you know, 10 hours a day, nearly 7 days a week. So I don't really have any option but to do it. But it's actually a lot of people are quite curious about it. You find people coming in and talking to you, being far more open with you when they see that you're actually painting yourself and you're not just behind a desk, or you get a different vibe off people and they're more interested about the space, so it doesn't hurt.
Is Brian's show the first solo show that you've had, aside from your own work?
No, there's actually, we've done 3, this is the third one. We did one for, first solo show was Laura Mulligan, beautiful work. It's kind of mainly landscape, but semi-abstract and really strong colours, and really powerful stuff. And then Chris McMorrow was just a month and a half ago, like beautiful street scenes of Dublin, and so he's got a mix of stuff. He's probably best known for the ones with the umbrellas of Dublin and around the country, but also some blue skies, ones of Italy. And both exhibitions were actually quite successful. They were slow burners. It wasn't there's no sellout shows on the night, but over the course of the, I don't know, 3 or 4 weeks, I'm trying to give the artists a good run, even though it's maybe just stated as a week or two. I'm trying to do right by them and keep them up and give it a fair chance. So yeah, both of them sold about 16 each over the course, which these days isn't bad. So hopefully Brian's will repeat that.
That was Vincent Keeling there, and you can find more information on the Keeling Gallery by going to thekeelinggallery.com. As mentioned, it is Brian McCarthy's first solo exhibition since his massively successful show Masquerades, which was held back in 1996. The show received rave reviews at the time, and all the work exhibited was sold. I asked Brian, why did it take so long to have his follow-up solo show?
Necessity. I've not been able to collect enough paintings at any one time because I've been selling them as I paint them to pay bills.
Okay,
it's difficult to accumulate enough paintings for a show. You obviously have to keep them, and I find it difficult to live.
Okay,
so I've sold them, and it's worked very much against me over the years. In fact, because paintings selling out the door of my studio are not been shown around Dublin, and an awful lot of my best work's never been seen ever, apart from private homes.
Okay,
so I guess it will at some point in the future.
So you're not in a position to kind of contact these private owners when putting together a show, or is it?
Oh, I could do that, okay, but that would be more of a retrospective exhibition.
Yeah, and this is, I suppose,
commercial.
Vincent's gallery is a commercial enterprise, so at the end of the day. I asked Brian, because it had been 16 years since his last exhibition and he was selling work as he was making it, how difficult it was to compile an exhibition then that was in some way consistent.
Part of it is it's not so much to do with selling or not selling the paintings. My previous exhibition was called Masquerade, and it was just masks, and that is but it took me 7 years to paint all the pictures. I painted about 30 over that period, sold some, and kept the best ones for the show, so I stayed focused. But over the years, I like to diversify. I couldn't bear to just painting the same thing day in, day out. I would go out of my mind. It's probably the easiest way to become famous, is to paint the same picture every day. But it's not my way, so it can be confusing to people who first see my work. This show now this evening could almost look like a group show, in that I experimented quite a bit. But that's just my way. I enjoy that.
Absolutely.
And some of the paintings are a result of some of the more abstract pieces. I had been working up to a series that was going to be commissioned for one of the major Celtic Tiger hotels, and I did a lot of preparatory work on that.
Okay.
And then that didn't happen.
All right, okay.
So
finding
that's part of it, you know. But I enjoy experimenting. I really would go out of my head if I just painted the same thing, you know.
Does Vincent step in at all as a curator, or is it just you choose the work that you want to exhibit it for this particular exhibition, or is there an editing process?
No. I mean, there would be consultation between Vincent and myself as to what might go in or not, but it's almost a studio clearance. Everything, a lot of paintings, really what I have accumulated over the last 2 or 3 years is going in. I want to show them, I want people to see them.
Brilliant.
And we'll see.
Okay, so speaking about themes and subject matter, can you tell me a little bit about the series Boomtown?
Boomtown it's a series. It didn't start out as a series. First of all, it started out with a single painting called Boomtown, which is a vast slum that could be in Ireland. There's lots of Irish references to it. Like everyone, I've become very, very angry with the way this country has gone over the few years, and it's been a positive thing in my work. Some of my paintings are purely visual or decorative and wouldn't have comment one way or the other on social things. These do. There's another painting, Euphoria, which I sold at auction at White's last week. We're going to just show a print of that this evening. And it's of a head shop, and again it it's really just a satirical look at Ireland and the crazy country we've become and our obsessions.
And so I think even if they weren't intended as a series, the five of them together fit.
And that's pretty much how it came about. That it was only afterwards that I realised there was a series there at all.
So
they didn't start that way, no.
When you refer to it as satirical, it is from a place of anger and frustration as opposed to humour.
It's both. It's both. I don't think there's nearly enough humour in the art world. I've always enjoyed putting comical or funny things into my paintings. I don't see why not. Initially, the paintings, they came from anger, but I mean, it's anger in it. How do we express ourselves? I'm not going to go out and start rioting around Dublin, so this is my way of poking fun at the establishment and our crazy country over the last 10 years. And I suppose over time I've become more aware of things like that. I guess when you're young, you're self-obsessed with your own little world and not paying quite so much attention to what's going on around you. But as I turned 50 this year, so I don't know. I'm kind of now at the age I see President Obama's younger than me, Brian Cowan's younger than me, so I kind of feel I've reached a stature where I can comment.
So this type of social commentary conflicts with your previous work. This is a kind of a new approach.
I found my conscience, Ray. I found my conscience, I think, at least for a little while.
You can see this as something you're going to pursue?
Yeah. I mean, I've done bits and pieces like that over the years, but it's something I've enjoyed doing, these paintings. Stylistically, they're probably a bit old hat for the contemporary brigade, but that doesn't really I don't care about that. I enjoy doing them. They're fun. I've another couple planned. I think the head shops in particular seem to be very popular with people, and I sell them as prints. They're flying out the door of the gallery.
Yeah.
So,
is it fair to say that the head shops kind of serve as you maybe highlighting how they've become a distraction for kind of more important social issues? Yeah.
I mean, I to me, just the whole thing is ridiculous. It's just, to me, there's more craziness outside the head shops than there ever was in them, and that is, I find funny and I find curious, and I think I've hit a nerve there with people.
So this new exhibition, which takes place in the Keeling Gallery, it runs from the 15th to the 30th of October, but the opening is this evening. Can anybody come along to the opening?
Yes, indeed. Yes, absolutely. Joe Duffy is going to open the show at between 6 and 7 this evening, and the paintings will be on show. In fact, they're on show now already. If anyone's passing by and wants to drop in, they can go right in.
For more information on Brian, you see his website www.artinprint.com. The website consists of a catalogue of Brian's work and also information on the classes he runs. He's been teaching for the last 25 years. Vincent Keeling, the owner of the gallery, is actually an ex-pupil, as is Joe Duffy, who opens the show.